especially those moments, and especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. You're the reason why, in large part, I beat Donald Trump. Yes. Let's beat him again. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. Well, you know, I need you. I need you badly. I need the help. Kamala and I desperately need your help. Because, look, there's only about 6 or 7 states that are going to determine the outcome of this election. There are toss-up states. This is one of them. This election is not a referendum on me. It's an election between me and a guy named Trump. And this is a guy who who's the way he talks about the Latino community is well. In 2016, he called Latinos criminal, drug dealers, and rapists when he came down that escalator. Now he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. What the hell is he talking about? No, I'm serious. Think about it. We are, in fact, the reason we're as good as we are is because we are the most diverse country in the world. More people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. First African-American. So my point is. First African-American. So my point. First African-American. So my point.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. This is your host, beatzillapdx officially. And this, of course, is a news break edition. So, it's off camera, but we are live. You understand? So hopefully everybody is doing well. Got a few things to talk about this evening. One, most importantly, did Joe Biden disrespect black voters, which, as we have long known, is his voter base? So we have a few things to talk about, but we were mostly talking about this little thing right here and all the things that go along with it. But before we do, family, if you could, please hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, share this out if you would. And also subscribe if you have not already subscribed to this broadcast channel. And you can also become a member. And if you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell and hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. All right, so let's see who we have in the building this evening thus far. And it looks like we have our good sister Blueberry Muffin in the building. Shout out to Blueberry Muffin in the house. Thank you for being here this evening, my good sister. Yes, indeed. Always a pleasure to have you in the house. Judah Queen in the building. Black first. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, my good sister, Judah Queen. Tay the man in the house. Black first. Indeed. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here as well. And as well, I see David Boyd in the house. Shout out to David Boyd in the building. Yes, indeed. I see shouting out Oyela's Cadence. I didn't see her in the chat yet. Was she in here? I didn't miss her, did I? Okay, maybe she's not here yet. Patricia Slade in the building. Black first. Jersey City in the building. Yes, indeed. We got our good sister, Key Prince in the building. Shout out Key Prince. Thank you for being here as well. Lynette Williams in the house. Black first Montgomery, Alabama in the building. Yes, indeed. And we got our good brother, dark-skinned brother in the house. Shout out to you. Salute to you, my brother. Black first as always. Night Rider in the building. Salute, bruh, bees. Yes, indeed. Black first, shalom. Let's see. I think I got everybody thus far. There's Nightbot in the house on duty. Thank you, Nightbot, for being on deck. All right. Oh, Lady Effa in the building. Black First Ohio checking in. Shout out and salute to you, my good sister. Sorry, my good sister, Lady Effa. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, let me know. Because I say it that way all the time. So I hope you never corrected me. So I believe I'm saying that correctly. Now, like I said, you guys might have seen the story that has recently came out with Joe Biden talking about telling Latino voters that they were in large part of the reason that he beat Trump in the first place, and they're going to do it again. Now, that's why I put that video together at the very beginning. And I'm going to let some more people get off up in this live before I play it again. But we'll get to that. First, though, in Alabama, it seems to be some, and I believe this, let me make sure this is Tennessee. Is that what I'm looking at? Is it Tennessee? I was thinking Alabama, but it might be Tennessee. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's Tennessee. So I guess there's a pro-police bill going on in Tennessee, as well as I guess they're trying to use redistricting as a method or tool, of course, to enact certain laws In this case, a police bill. And so the way the media is trying to report what this sister said is saying, and she did say it. However, she's actually quoting Dr. Martin Luther King. But they go on to say that you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh boy, they love that quote. Tennessee state senator calls for riots after pro-police bill passes. She said, we had it up to here. Gloves off, like we got to feel like hell. Okay. So it says State Senator Charlene Oliver called for riots over the passage of a pro-police bill in Tennessee on Thursday, saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. Quote, it's a slap in the face. Well, actually, I'll play the video because I do have it. I'll go ahead and skip over this because she quotes, that'll be what is being said. However, the issue is about this bill. So one thing she says, when you gaslight us every single day with these bills, there's a bill to get rid of the Tennessee Human Rights Commission that they're going to bring to abolish it. So that tells you what kind of legal targeting they're doing in these southern states. And, don't think that that's by mistake. It's being done by design. And it's being helped along, by the way. So that's just one of these things that, we are going to start seeing in some of these places to where they have the political, I guess, leverage at this point to kind of maneuver that way. So they got to move fast, and they are moving quickly. You understand? So let me just play a little bit, and I'll go back to what she's talking about. But here's the sister, what's her name? Let me get this again. The sister is Charlene Oliver, State Senator Charlene Oliver. Let me get her name right. Put some respect on it. But here's what she had to say in her own words, because they're trying to be like, the headline of this story reads, she's calling for riots. And she did not. But here she is.
It is a slap in the face, and you might as well stomp on the grave of Tyree Nichols for bringing this bill. Yes, we are emotionally charged. Why? Because it's personal for us. Taylor made this personal the minute he introduced this legislation to target one family and one life that was lost. So yeah, we're gonna fight. Dr. King said the riots are the language of the unheard. You ain't saying nothing yet. If you keep silencing us like this, what do you think our district's gonna do? We have had it up here. Gloves off. Like, we're gonna fight like hell. You don't expect us to respond when you gaslight us every single day with these bills? There's a bill to get rid of the Tennessee Human Rights Commission that they're gonna bring to abolish it, rooted in the Civil Rights Act, to make sure that we have protections for folks that look like Tyree Nichols. Don't tell me this stuff ain't racist. Don't tell me it's not. It is rooted in racism. This was a Jim Crow bill that Taylor brought, and all his Confederates voted for it today.
And so when these people come on your comment boards and come on your threads and start saying, hey, why are you talking about this stuff that happened so long ago? And so this is targeting today. Legislative targeting today. And I ain't mad at them. I'm glad. It's unfortunate that they are in a party that allowed their situation to get this way. But, hopefully she realizes what she needs to do and just stand up and act. I hope that's the case. We shall see. Cynthia Newman in the building. Shout out to you, Cynthia Newman. Thank you for being in the house. Yes, indeed. So there was also another state official that spoke as well. And they interesting verbiage. I will say this. So I will say that Dominique Devereaux in the building. What's going on, Dominique Devereaux? Black first. Let me play you this. From the Southern woman. And truth be told, from what I just played you, this video should actually make sense. They tried to frame it as if she's kind of going out there, way out with it, but I don't know.
What we see here is drunk on power. I don't like that you take this position on this bill, so I'm going to silence you. That's a form of slavery. I feel like a slave sometime in this building. I'm over it. And all the members standing here are over it. At what point are we going to truly be a democratic body, respect the fact that every single one of us are represented by the same amount of people in their districts, and we all deserve the same voice and the same level of respect, regardless if we agree or not? I am tired of the Republican Party expecting us as minorities to do what they want to do, but treat us disrespectfully. Nah, we're not doing that no more. We at this time of session wearing gloves off. And I support any of my members have the right to defend themselves, to not accept disrespect, and we shouldn't expect disrespect from the other side of the aisle. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Y'all heard it, you can repeat it, but it had to be said. Senator Oliver.
Yes, indeed. And, she ain't wrong. She is most definitely not wrong. I seen both of these headlines today. And of course, they made it a point to jump on phrases that these sisters used that were actually pretty accurate. Considering the case, you guys are putting out a whole new police bill. That ain't, when has that ever benefited anybody over here? You know what I mean? And a funny thing happened, in the UN. I think about how things are going on in Tennessee, all of these other places. People are showing their true colors. We're talking about reparations. We're talking about justice. You are seeing so many people feeling some kind of way and being so hurt that we are looking for what is ours, which only makes sense, doesn't it? Well, anyway, here's something. This story is very interesting. Because, when other groups start thinking they feel like how Black people feel, they start trying to sound like, well, they sound like themselves, but I guess they feel like they're going to, get a little bit of energy or ism, shall we say, from the real true fighters against supremacy. But this headline reads, UN advisor says, quote, "The white man has brought life as we know it to the verge of extinction. Racial harmony is a fallacy." Oh, let's see. It says, a United Nations Youth Climate Advisor has a history of social media posts that call for the destruction of capitalism, claim, quote, terrorism is used as a Western smear to justify its imperialism and attack white people for purportedly fueling humanity's extinction vis-a-vis the climate crisis. Wow. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres personally selected Pakistani American Aisha Sadiqa as one of his advisors to help accelerate the implementation of his climate action agenda. Let's see. Oh, Sadiqa was a Time Woman of the Year in 2023, who has co-founded 2 youth climate activist organizations. Okay, it's telling me what it is. I want to get down to her quote because they're trying to kind of give you I guess, warm you up to her activism. But I'm gonna skip down a few lines here. She unabashedly promotes racial leftist beliefs like abolishing the police, espousing socialist ideas, sharing Marxist themed and anti-capitalist content while repeatedly denigrating white people. Let's see. That's a picture. So she identifies herself as a climate advisor to the UN General Secretary. Excuse me. The UN advisor didn't get involved in climate action because of the opportunity to protect the environment, she said, but because she wanted to rail against the West for its war involvement in the Middle East, which she claims is intimately connected to oil, according to May 2020 post on X, which was Twitter at the time. Quote, you want to know why I got into climate activism? It wasn't because I wanted to protect the environment, although that is a very valid reason. I became involved because the West slaughtered, bombed, and starved my people to death in the name of oil, and no one talks about it. You know, it's funny that how the general mainstream media keys in on things that are said like that and then starts vilifying it. But at the end of the day, what did we just really hear? The West slaughtered, bombed, and starved my people to death in the name of oil. She's talking about horrible people, but that is the truth, is it not? So when you deal with the situation of who we're really dealing with out here, especially who we're voting for, just keep in mind when we talk about the West, isn't a lot of bombing going on over there right now that we're funding? Out of this current administration, by the way. Quote, when I think of fossil fuel, I don't think of pollution. I think of organized terrorism. And I think of demolished democracies at the hands of the West. Now, you know, that's funny because, you know, when you think about like Libya, you know, Egypt, Venezuela, you know, all of these different places. And for some of y'all who probably were not, you know, maybe even paying attention to politics in the around the 2010s and 12s, some of y'all might remember the former president who ended up getting cancer of Venezuela. Now Venezuela wasn't having issues that they have now. All of these countries in disarray right now. You better remember who had their hands in things. You know, in Haiti, good old Hillary. You know, And just think about over there. Shoot, I'm sure Dick Cheney probably still making money off of everything they still doing over there. I wouldn't doubt it. Although, oh yeah, they're Republicans, blah, blah, blah. Who ain't making money from that? Just makes you wonder. Just saying. Let's see. So she says, while accusing the West of organized terrorism in regard to purportedly fueling the climate crisis. Okay, we already heard that. Okay, because I'm trying to figure out. Oh, here it is. All right. Why? And this is a quote from her. Why is it that when non-white nations stand up against bombing and pillaging of natural resources, that they are immediately vilified, and that vilification is attributed to an innate problem in their psyche or concept of living known as religion? Well, I think for us, it's just living while being black. You know what I'm saying? But again, she's describing the tactics that have often been used on us. So, you know, this is just the demonstration worldwide of them taking their show on the road. So when people ask you, hey, why aren't you getting involved? You better wash your hands of what they do. I have no parts. Because let me tell you something. There's some fools out here that really want to align themselves. You know, and they'll literally get out here. You got these random nuts out here that will align themselves with supremacists and start talking crazy about black folks and start, you know, when they're talking off the script given to them by their paymasters, because you'll start hearing the talking points from those groups. Oh, you know, your bad choices and bad decisions. One of the lines that has kind of died for a little while is, you know, oh, the single parent homes in the black community and blah, blah, blah. Because now with the new statistics coming out, yeah, they kind of dropped that real quick when you seen where white women are sitting at with it. Yep. All of a sudden, the whole fatherless home thing out the black community, and that's how you haven't heard much of that at all. There's a reason. Black First Coffee, what's going on? Thank you for being here, Black First. Kerman Wingfield. Yes, Kerman Winfield. Yes, Wingfield, I got it right. Kerman S. Wingfield, thank you for being here. Yes, indeed, Black First. And all eyes on us, Black First. Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here. Kid Gravity in the building. What's going on, my brother, Kid Gravity? Yes, sir. Always Black First. And we got our good brother Maxwell Jenkins in the house. Black First, my good brother Maxwell. All right, so we going to this. I'm trying to remember who sent me this video too. It might have been Key Prince or oh man, if you're in here, then send me this video, please remind me. But here is something that y'all have to see, because they sent this to me, said, what you think? And yo, this right here is super duper Sambo sauce winner. So, you know, tonight's gallon jug giveaway of Sambo sauce goes to my man right here.
My grandparents are black. All 8 of my great-grandparents, all 16 of my great-greats. On my mother's side, my ancestors were enslaved in Alabama. On my father's side, we were enslaved in Texas. I am not oppressed. I'm not oppressed, and I'm not a victim. I'm neither oppressed nor a victim. I travel all across this country of ours, and I check into hotels, and I fly commercially, and I walk into retail establishments, and I order food in restaurants. I go wherever I want, whenever I want. I am treated with kindness, dignity, and respect, literally from coast to coast. I have 3 children. They are not oppressed either, although they are victims. I've taught my children they are victims of 3 things: their own ignorance, their own laziness, and their own poor decision making. That is all. My children, we are not victims of America. We are not victims of some unseen 190-year-old force that kind of floats around in the ether. Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is taking our nation in the wrong direction. Racism in America would by and large be dead today if it were not for certain people and institutions keeping it on life support. And sadly, very sadly, one of those institutions is the American education system. I can think of nothing more damaging to a society than to tell a baby born today that she has grievances against another baby born today simply because of what their ancestors may have done 2 centuries ago. There is simply no point in doing that to our children, and putting critical race theory into our classrooms in part does that. Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is not combating racism, it's fanning the flames of what little embers are left. I encourage you to support this resolution. Let racism die the death it deserves, and let's keep living the life of the country that we are.
And you, brother, you get one of these. Sambo, Sambo, Sambo. Insane. But in response,
They don't tell Jews, just forget about that Holocaust. Don't speak about it anymore. It's just useless and it's ridiculous. Don't, just why even? They don't do that. You certainly are going to tell Asian people to do that. Why do they tell us to do it? And I'll tell you my assessment of why that is. Because when we pull back the covers on us, we pull back the covers on other folks. So we rewrite European history as well. We rewrite our perceptions of those founding fathers and our perception of our inherent humanity, our willingness to embrace and our inclusivity, as it were. Somehow it throws a rock into that glass house, and you begin to realize that things weren't as they were written in the text. Not just about you, that black person, but about you, that white person. That's where the rubber meets the road. And we're not getting ready to let Timmy and Lil Sue find out what folks were really about and what they really did. That's where you're going to see the resistance and the pushback, because it's not about you seeing you. It's about everyone seeing everyone.
and she's right. Yes, indeed. Shout out to a fellow Portlandian, Dr. Joy DeGroot. Larry. And see, so what people, when you see people come around, like, we understand what it is. Hey, you guys, stop talking all of this. And that dude, let me correct something that he said, because he talking about 200 years ago, over 2 centuries. Slavery was not over 2 centuries ago. Reconstruction and Jim Crow definitely was not. Definitely was not. I mean, so good grief. Yeah. And they get these people. Who knows? That person probably don't even have a kid there. but they hire these people. I believe we've even heard brother Professor Black Truth even speak on that. How these PACs, these think tanks and these PACs, they'll fund somebody, get a few paid actors, go out there and go get on the mic and say their little spiel. Critical race theory doesn't need to be this because I was never oppressed. And what you're hearing is history. You're hearing the real, actual history of America. There's, people are making something of that it's not, which, of course, that's how it's easier to attack, because also what you're doing is changing the meaning, which, that's what the wicked do. Now, speaking of wicked, let me see, where shall I start? Yeah, Cynthia Newman, damn plant. Blueberry Muffin said, damn poison ivy plant. I mean, good grief. And I mean, man, he took some. Oh, speaking of plants, thanks for the segue, Blueberry Muffin and Cynthia Newman. Yeah. Now people are trying to run out there and say that this video is fake and this video is doctored and this video isn't real. But I don't know. So in all fair journalism sake, they say that this is a video of Michael Rappaport in a hallway on the phone talking about getting paid for his support of Israel. And maybe this is some kind of spoof. Maybe they're cleaning it up, or who knows. But I just found this very extremely interesting.
Price for the videos I've been getting. If I say Israel, you got to pay me a certain price. If I say Zionist, you pay me a certain price. If I say Zionist, Israel, and Jewish, that's the big three, I get paid for that. Right. Same as always. Yeah, just keep paying me the same thing. Zionist, Israel, Jewish, you pay me. No problem. If I do what if I do a watermelon emoji and if I say something about fuck Palestine? If I say fuck Palestine on camera, okay, you're gonna give me more. Okay, cool. Fucking film me.
And again, this could totally be staged and fake. It absolutely totally could be. If it is staged and if it is fake, that is hella funny. Oh man, that is funny. Oh, you pay me to say this, and then I'll say that's the big three. Wow. I mean, and I guess they didn't particularly like my man that went off a script. I didn't see the award show or whatever, but I guess the guy that in his award speech, I guess he was basically trying to call for a ceasefire, and a lot of those actors and actresses wrote a letter basically condemning his speech and in fervent disagreement. Like, oh wow. Well, APAC ain't no joke, eh? Phantom Beat in the building. Yes, indeed. This is the best acting ever. Yeah, Blueberry Muffin, you better know it. That's right, Dominique Devereaux. Yes, indeed. So, let Let me see. Where do I need to go next? Let's do it like this. Let's take a little refresher.
I'd like to understand from you what Trump-era immigration policies have been banned, ended, reversed, and if any investigations are underway by you.
So we have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies, it would take so much time to list them.
And meanwhile, in America, insane. Absolutely insane. Now, meanwhile, the Democrats are running ads. They're running ads right now. And, they spent that money, of course, with white advertising companies to get black voters on board. So this is white advertisers' attempt at getting black people's attention. Check this out.
As bad as Trump was, his economy was worse, and black America felt it the most. He cut health insurance while giving tax breaks to the wealthy and big business. He stoked racial violence, attacked voting rights, and if reelected, vowed to be a dictator and, quote, get revenge. We can't go back. As president, I put money in pockets, creating millions of new jobs, and capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. There's a lot more to do, but we can do it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Were you motivated, folks? Did that motivate y'all? Oh my Lord. Yeah, Roland got one thing right about what they're doing. All of that money the DNC is going to spend at trying to get black votes. And whoever is in the DNC, who's running their marketing team, all we have to say to you over here is because at the end of the day, do y'all know Joe Biden over here now trying to, and if you guys, now that I see more folks in here, is pandering. It's the video I opened the broadcast with. I put it together a little clip reel of Joe Biden speaking himself of what he is going to do for black folks and what he is now saying to the Latinos. And so let's check that out.
Especially those moments, and especially for those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. You're the reason why, in large part, I beat Donald Trump. Let's beat him again. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. Well, you know, I need you. I need you badly. I need the help. Kamala and I desperately need your help. Because, look, there's only about 6 or 7 states that are going to determine the outcome of this election. There are toss-up states. This is one of them. This election is not a referendum on me. It's an election between me and a guy named Trump. And this is a guy who who's the way he talks about the Latino community is, well, in 2016 he called Latinos criminal, drug dealers, and rapists when he came down that escalator. Now he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. What the hell is he talking about? No, I'm serious. Think about it. We are, in fact, the reason we're as good as we are is because we are the most diverse country in the world. More people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. First African-American. So my point is. First African-American. So my point. First African-American. So my point.
Whew. Well, hyena laugh is a beast, ain't it? She sound like the Joker, the Joker toy. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Whew. Oh man. But yeah, here's the little story from Associated Press. They say President Joe Biden on Tuesday personally appealed to Latino voters, saying they're the reason he defeated Donald Trump in 2020 and urging them to help him do it again in November. I'll need you back, he told several dozen supporters packed in a local Mexican restaurant. He can't help himself. So when I go to the hood, I'm going to either go to the church or I'm going to go to the local black restaurant. We going to have some chicken. Well, I'll give them chicken while I have my burger. Oh, Lord. Biden said the upcoming election isn't a referendum on him, but rather a choice between me and a guy named Trump. The Democrat highlighted Trump's derogatory rhetoric towards Latinos. Yeah, we already know. Yes. Let's see. Biden said Hispanic unemployment is the lowest it's been in a long time because of his policies. Highlighted administration initiatives to help small businesses and reduce gun violence and criticized Trump for wanting more tax cuts for rich people. Quote, he wants to get rid of all the programs we put together, Biden said. Biden's push with Latino voters is part of the campaign's broader efforts to lay the groundwork to re-engage various constituencies he will need to be reelected. Oh, what that means is make up for the gap of all of them voters who already know ain't gonna be voting for Joe Biden because they gonna be voting for Couch. Now, oh man, it gets better. Okay, so that effort is all the more crucial as key parts of Biden's base, such as Black and Hispanic adults have become increasingly disenchanted with his performance in office. Wait. No. That Hispanic adults were never enchanted in the first place because they vote Republican to begin with. What you're talking about is only one group. See, even still, black. No. This is all about the black vote. When you talk about disenchanted, you only talking about one group. So black folks have grown disenchanted with the Democratic Party. I don't know why you just can't be honest with that. And disenchanted with his performance in office. It says, black and Hispanic, but yeah, black folks have become increasingly disenchanted with his performance in office. In an AP NORC poll conducted in February, 38% of U.S. adults approved of how Biden was handling his job. Nearly 6 in 9 black adults, that's 58%, approved, compared to the 36% of Hispanic adults. Black adults are more likely than white and Hispanic adults to approve of Biden, but that approval has dropped in 3 years since Biden took office. Oh, wow, I wonder why. You've had my back and I've had yours. No. You ain't had nobody's back over here but a knife. And we see how you did it. Oh, Lord. Okay, so Biden, who is on a 3. Now this part's kind of important. Biden, who is on a 3-day campaign, swing through Nevada, Arizona, Texas, and Texas, that's designed largely to court Latino voters, told supporters at an earlier political stop Tuesday in Reno, Nevada, that he and Trump have a different value set. He also criticized Trump's rhetoric. Of course he can. That's going to be a go-to while you're in front of the Latino community. Easy. Now, here's the thing. In this, you're talking about black and brown when you're trying to refer to how Biden is losing, but by his base. But here's the one thing about where he's going. He's going on these Latino stops, and ain't nobody talk about black in those rooms. But let's read on. Quote, I never heard a president say the things that he has said, Biden said. Biden said Washoe County, where Reno is located, and Nevada are really, really, really critical for the November election. Nevada is among the roughly half dozen battlegrounds that will determine the next president. And Washoe is the lone swing county in the state. Wow. We're going to beat him again, Biden said of Trump. Afterward, Biden flew to Las Vegas to promote his administration's housing policies. In Phoenix on Wednesday, he'll discuss his support of the computer chip manufacturing sector. Tuesday's appearance coincided with the launch of LatinoCon Biden-Harris. Tuesday's appearance coincided with the launch of LatinosCon Biden-Harris. Spanish for Latinos. Spanish for Latinos with Biden-Harris. All right. Campaign ads ran in English and Spanish and Spanglish, a blend of the two languages, as did the two Spanish language radio interviews with the president. Wow. Now, how much of the money you think that's aimed at the black vote is going over here. See, they making sure they reaching out over here, ain't they? Now you got all this, you got the millions dedicated to go outreach for black folks. But these are like entities, they get money. Meanwhile, you got Roland Martin just standing in front of the gates, waving his arms like, "Hey, don't y'all see me? I live in DC. I plan on working like the devil to earn your support," Biden said on El Bueno La. Forgive me. El Bueno La Mela El Feo, mean the good, the bad, and the ugly on Univision Radio. In the interview, Biden turned questions about immigration into an indictment of Trump for his language about migrants, most recently saying they are animals and not people. Biden also noted Trump's pledge to carry out mass deportations. Quote, "We have to stop this guy. We can't let this happen," Biden said. "We are a nation of immigrants." We are a nation of immigrants, he said, huh?
Especially those moments, and especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours.
And this is how he shows it. Meanwhile, you got all kind of dope and fentanyl coming over the border because he's saying, "Hey, we got to keep this flooding into the country. We can't be stopped. We got to do it." And meanwhile, why would they not have the incentive to say, "All right, let's get in here," and they call him back to Venezuela? I mean, come on. Come on. Really? So he'll get in front of them. He's going to say, "Yeah, we are a nation of immigrants. We are not immigrants." Biden's re-election campaign, along with allied Democratic groups, have opened offices in Washoe County and in specific areas of Las Vegas that aides said will help the campaign with Black, Latino, and Asian American voters. The president said Tuesday that his campaign will open more offices in the state, and Daniel Corona, the campaign's deputy political coalitions director, said Biden's re-election efforts was hiring a political director focus on rural parts of the state. Bilingual campaign organizers are already in place in Arizona, and the campaign has opened an office in Maryville, a major Latino community in Phoenix. The campaign has hired more than 40 staffers in Nevada and Arizona. The Republican National Committee accused Democrats of taking the Hispanic community for granted. Quote, "Republicans will continue receiving with open arms thousands of Hispanics that are moving to our party, disappointed with Democrats and their policies, and will be fundamental to Republican victories all over the country in 2024, said Jamie Flores, the party's director of Hispanic outreach. Biden's campaign officials believe that tuned out voters are starting to pay attention to the reality of a rematch between Biden and Trump. now that they are their party's presumptive nominees. They're trying to boost coalition building efforts in battleground states now that the matchup is set. Using the energy coming out of Biden's State of the Union address. Oh, okay. Word. Well, then, yeah, you really just saying, damn, all you ends. If you're riding, if this is what you think riding the energy of the State of the Union is, then okay, well, yeah, that's damn us. Okay, gotcha. Oh, so yeah, address this month to jolt their campaign momentum. That includes, for example, ensuring that chapters are in place across college campuses so that students have a place to organize and that campaign offices are open and stocked with yard signs, campaign literature, and other materials. Democrats are hoping that Trump and the GOP will struggle to catch up in key states. Latino come Biden Harris formally launched at Biden's Phoenix stop. See, these people are getting money. Like you just like, let's ignore the grassroots Negroes. We're not even going to speak to them. Let's go over here and just go full steam ahead and start giving these Latino groups money for outreach. Oh boy, the campaign has similar groups geared toward women and college students. Now, I'll stop there because you guys get the gist of what's happening there, right? Funny thing happened. Biden also had a trip to Michigan. You want to know what happened in Michigan? Biden skipped visiting a black church on his recent trip to Michigan, angering some of the community's leaders. This story is also by the AP. Out of Saginaw, Michigan, President Joe Biden headed to Michigan last week to boost his support with black voters and hedge against the growing opposition that the White House the White House's staunch support for Israel has sparked with Muslims in the critical swing states. But some African American leaders now say they feel alienated after Biden failed to meet with more leading black community members when visiting Saginaw. You think? Because he wasn't concerned about your black. I mean, come on, man. I mean, but I'm glad at least they said something. Let's see. The leading black community members when visiting Saginaw, the city northwest of Detroit that has become Michigan's premier political bellwether and where 46% of the residents are black. Oh, well, that explains a lot. Because this is a picture from his trip. Anyway, while you're looking at that, let me read on. Organizers familiar with the trip plan said that one of several original proposed sites for the president to visit was a black church. The idea was to find a venue where union workers, black community leaders, college students, and supporters from other key constituencies could head out after the event knocked on doors for Biden. The president ultimately went to the front porch of two local leaders who are both white, then met with a black family at a public golf course, to whom you see them carrying umbrellas for the president like Farnsworth Bentley. And look at the little boy just looks so happy, like, yeah, my dad got me out here in the rain getting wet for the president. We doing this. Hurley Coleman Jr., a prominent Saginaw pastor and staunch Biden supporter whose son and grandson met Biden at the golf course, called the trip a, quote, missed opportunity for the president's campaign to engage with the community in a way that was, quote, real opposed to what we saw. What y'all see on the screen right now, family? Oh, man. Oh, this is horrible, man. Anyway, let me read on. And this is the preacher Coleman. So this is the father, the man on the left speaking. I can't escape the reality of what was initially anticipated didn't happen. And what was initially anticipated really needs to happen. And sooner rather than later. But you're out there holding umbrellas like Farnsworth. Stop it. Any slights could loom large in what is a precarious political moment for Biden, with some allies already concerned about anger in Michigan's sizable Arab American community over Israel's war in Gaza. Biden's support among Black adults has sharply fallen since the start of his presidency, and former President Donald Trump's campaign believes it can flip parts of the core Democratic constituency in November's election. Biden was backed by 91% of Black voters in 2020. Wow. But his approval rating among Black adults was 58% in a recent latest Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs research poll. State Board of Education President Pamela Pugh, who lives in Saginaw, said Black and faith-based leaders felt like there was an opportunity that was missed for there to be a back and forth conversation, but also room for it being more inclusive and inviting of the larger base. Pugh, also a Democrat, running for a U.S. House seat in Saginaw's district, added that it was a slight on the Black American community, especially given that he was coming to Saginaw and it seemed like it was to meet with the communities of color. He did. He met with the pastor and had the pastor caddy. And then, it looks like he also stumbled up on some old Negroes that were ready for a photo op with already a Biden and Harris shirt on. But, and then, don't miss that woman back there with the blonde hair. Actually, if you look at this woman, at first I thought she was gray. But at second thought, I don't know. But that woman in the back, sure enough got blonde hair. I guess. Do you? Anyway, this is crazy. So, like, we're seeing, here's the larger base. This is literally your larger base. And they know this. And he'll literally come in there and just be like, well, somebody else is more important. I'm finna go on this Latino tour real quick. Okay. Biden's re-election campaign referred questions about the visit to the community leaders and attendees of the president's event, as well as to the Michigan Democratic Party. State Party Chair Lavora Barnes said in a statement, quote, you can't get a more fired up or authentic Joe Biden than one we saw on a porch in Saginaw. That is not a town hall. That is not a town hall at all. What are we talking about? Dr. Craig Tatum, senior pastor for Saginaw's New Life Baptist Church Ministries, said that his church was initially selected as the potential place for the president to visit, which he called, quote, a great honor. I wasn't necessarily given any reason why things changed, said Tatum, who added that he was fine with the change since, quote, to say the president considered our site was quite an honor in itself. All right. The city of Saginaw has a large number of Black and union-affiliated voters, and is a Democratic stronghold, but it is encircled by predominantly Republican areas within the larger county, and has swung back and forth to support the winning presidential candidate in 4 straight elections. Biden spoke to supporters on the porch of a home of Councilman Bill Otosh and school board leaders Kevin Rooker before meeting with Saginaw resident Hurley Coleman III and his 13-year-old son, Hurley Coleman IV, at a local public golf course. Oh boy. To be caddies. You met out there to go be caddies. What are we talking about? This is what Black folks get. This is what you could expect from Joe Biden. So he went over there. You guys helped me, and I mean, now he's giving them the same line he done told us. But I'm sure he's already. They're putting tangibles. There's things going on. There's money being exchanged over there. He's just coming over here. We ain't really got much for you. We'll go over here and talk to these white guys, and then take these 2 jigs out here to the golf course for a few pictures. Jeez. I hope he tipped. Brandell Adams, a trustee of the township outside Saginaw, attended the porch event, spoke briefly to pose for pictures with Biden, and called it a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But he also said he had heard from some in the community who were irked that the president didn't see more Black leaders. Well, he said it's a big difference from going to meet somebody on a porch and then the Black community that's there. That's crazy. Folks seem like they did indeed get their hopes up. It was a smaller crowd, 40 to 50 people at most, but I think it was a pretty good blend, age and gender and race, labor leadership, party leadership, activists, Adams said. Okay. So it was watered down when you were really going right and smack dab into a Black community. I just want to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down this because I want to see if there's anything to where they're talking about doing something for Black people. And no, there's not. All right, there's a little bit more of the article, but at the end of the day, we pretty much heard what we're going to hear. And yeah, so that's the extent of the outreach for the Black community. A bunch of vague communication. But he goes over and goes and pandering to the Latinos. Yeah, Latinos get pandered to. He's just like, damn them niggas. This dude ain't cool. This dude is not cool in the least. And here's another story. And this story actually reaches all the way to Obama. Because he appointed this woman here. Now, when we start thinking of all the things that we are seeing nowadays, how our borders are consistently being invaded. However, they are getting, I can't help but notice how ready they are to act about these Haitians. And the one thing about the Haitians, they could legitimately qualify as asylum seekers because we're seeing their stuff in disarray with our own eyes. And they don't have to go through other few countries to get here. So let's just see if the same love for all this immigrant love and dreamer love, let's just see if that still hit the same. But in the meantime, this woman saying it's constitutional, which maybe it is, but let's hear how this plays out, because she's saying illegal immigrants are okay to own guns in America while being here illegally.
A judge in Illinois just ruled illegal immigrants have the right to keep and bear arms. So rather than the circle with the line through it, we need like a thumbs up emoji there. The case is pretty simple. Police arrested an illegal immigrant living in Chicago with a gun back in 2020. They charged him for violating the federal law banning illegal immigrants from having guns. It's been on the books for a long time. Judge Sharon Johnson Coleman just decided the Second Amendment applies to him, the illegal immigrant, like everybody else, so he can have a gun. In her decision, she wrote that Humberto Flores received and used the handgun solely for self-protection and protection of property during a time of documented civil unrest in the spring of 2020, the summer of love. Court documents show Flores fired the gun at moving cars during the BLM riots in Chicago. He argues police officers warned him about looters who were approaching his neighborhood. Key to this ruling is that the judge says Flores' conduct heavily impacted her decision. He had no criminal record and was not considered a risk to public safety. This case is just one of many challenging that federal statute that prevents illegal immigrants from possessing a firearm.
Now, I can't help but notice she seemed to have a favorable stance toward this illegal immigrant firing his gun at what everybody likes to say Black Lives Matter protesters. So when people say, well, this is an Obama judge, this woman is setting legal case law for something down the pike. Can y'all see what she's setting up here? But let's go on.
There are cases unfolding in states nationwide. Shan Wu is here, former federal prosecutor, turned criminal defense attorney, once a very senior officer at the DOJ. Good to see you. Should I be shocked that an Obama appointee found a gun control law that she didn't like?
No, but I think it's very fascinating that this whole push towards expanding the deference to the Second Amendment, in some ways, has kind of come full circle here, where something that really seems counterintuitive, the idea that someone who's not here legally still has that right, and you can't use this particular statute, which is commonly known as the felon in possession statute. But the way it's written, she really zeroed in on the language. He's not a felon. And the gray area, of course, is whether or not his status, and frankly, I think the way he was using the gun calls a little bit into question, how peaceful he is.
Right. So the police told him, now again, let's go back. The police told him that some looters were coming his way, right? They're headed towards your neighborhood. Now, if y'all remember, I remember the story about the Latino dude shooting at protesters and shooting at cars out there. He was shooting at cars that had nothing to do with no protests. And she gonna say that he had the gun legally because there was civil unrest in the streets. So that makes his criminality okay. Black faces in high places, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, proving that you can't trust it.
No, I mean, I guess the question, though, is what constitutional rights and protections then become absolute, right? Because illegal immigrants are still counted in a census. Mm-hmm. That is a huge deal in terms of representation. But then where do we get to right to work or right to vote or right to have a license to practice medicine or right to have a license to do all of these other things? Isn't this opening Pandora's box?
It could be. I do think, I hate to say this, but I think Congress would have to be a little bit more powerful here because there's no question that the Constitution applies to people who are not here legally. They're, quote, persons under the Constitution, so that makes perfect sense. The problem here is you need to draw the statute more narrowly, and you might have to actually specify that being here in a non-legal status would also make you not eligible to carry the firearm.
Interesting. You have to think about what you said of Congress actually doing its job, which they rarely seem to be able to do.
Here's the other thing. Now, why would she open that door? Because ultimately speaking, okay, he's not a felon. So, but then again, how do we know what crimes or criminal history these people are coming with to this country? There's no database. So this person might be a felon type criminal in their own country, and they're coming here with a clean slate. So yeah, they can have a gun and go start being anti-black, shooting at black folk. And this is the woman who said, yeah, that's cool. Yep. That's constitutional. Because there are people. Let's go with the particulars of the word. But let's open this door up. Because what's next?
Key part of the ruling, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote in the court's majority opinion, we hold that when the Second Amendment's plain text covers an individual's conduct, the Constitution presumptively protects that conduct. Look, you talk to a lot of folks. You're pretty popular in liberal legal circles. Was there a bit of chuckling when people read this? Was it sort of, yeah?
I think so.
A little more than a bit?
Yeah, it feels like a little bit, chickens coming home to roost. So
in what sense?
In the sense of it's been associated, not entirely accurately, but it's very much been associated with the conservative court, a conservative movement to really expand the protections of the Second Amendment for gun owners. And here, of course, it kind of comes into conflict with the idea of, we also have to include this big issue with
so you said that the
immigrants.
Congress might have to do its job, right? Flores was here illegally, therefore he broke a U.S. law by coming and by staying. So this is that the Second Amendment applies without Congress amending the law. So Congress could pass a law tomorrow that says illegal immigrants cannot have weapons, period.
Right.
And that would fix this situation.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I would agree. You have me in funny positions. I'm agreeing with Clarence Thomas, too. But I think he's exactly right.
It's 2024, odd things happen, don't they?
It's this presumption. The Constitution creates that presumption that whether you're illegally here or not, you have that right as a person here. But if the specific law says you're not allowed to possess it because of your status or a crime you've committed, then that would fix the presumption.
All right.
So now we have to address a whole new situation because instead of addressing the first part of number one, you're here illegally, but because you're pushing this, let's not send them out of here. And you already heard what the agenda is from Joe Biden. He's already telling people like, hey, Trump wants mass deportations. We got to stop him. So you see what the agenda is. Meanwhile, this is how he comes around black folks. But now he got his folks out there letting these folks run around with guns. So we got all these folks who are coming over here just like the people on the screen, people I showed you earlier. You're going to go around black folks, though. This is what it is. And then these people could come into your community. And this moron right here on the left don't understand how long will it be before one of them coming across that border ain't in a uniform with a gun to your child.
Andrew Roberts, I thought, rightly pointed out, he's one of our star producers, that you've got a lot of these cases in different courts. So it probably ends up at the Supreme Court at one point or another. But oftentimes these district judge rulings and everything else play into other cases. And if you, as the left is sort of chuckling and saying, hey, this serves Second Amendment activists, right? They're also saying, look, that these kinds of rulings then play into driver's licenses, and whether the driver's license of a California resident who's an illegal alien is valid in Texas. How does that play out now?
That is really the tension with the federalism system. You obviously have situations in many areas of the law where the states have like this patchwork of differing kinds of decisions. And the Supreme Court, I think, it's hard to tell when they're willing to nationalize something. They're clearly willing to do it in the election context here. But for something like this, I think they're going to keep punting to Congress, which, as you're kind of suggesting, means that nothing may happen.
And he's probably right. Nothing will happen. I seriously doubt it would. And again, you know, going all the way back to November 7th, 2020. I mean, this dude is anybody still pushing this guy is out of their mind.
Especially those moments, and especially for those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours.
With a knife, with a Conan cut ready for your back. And that's how Joe Biden's coming. Ain't that a shame, ladies and gentlemen? So, you know, just showing, and now I just wanted to walk it through it. I'm going to play the video we started with one more time before we go, just for anybody, you know, any and everybody. Everybody. Oh, man, but real quick, let me see. I seen some folks coming to the chat. Let me scroll up because y'all has been going in the chat. So let me take a look at this chat real quick. All right. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed this evening's broadcast. Real women don't do nonsense. Thank you for being here as well. Black first, black first. Yes. Let's see. See Rhonda Smith in the house. Shout out to you, Rhonda Smith, black first. Thank you. I see somebody else. Just scrolling through the chat, just making sure I got all of y'all. Sun kissed by the Most High. Salute to you, black first. Thank you for being here as well. And Moon Rise in the house, black first. Thank you for being here. All right. Okay. I think I got everybody. Yeah. All right. Now y'all was lighting it up tonight. Just looking at this chat here. Antithesis in the building. Thank you for being here. Black first, black first. Appreciate you. All right. And so, in closing, going back to how we started this broadcast. And the question is, did Joe Biden disrespect black voters? And if anybody looks at this clip and feels that he did not, well, we're going to address that shortly.
Especially those moments, and especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. You're the reason why, in large part, I beat Donald Trump. Yes. Let's beat him again. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. Well, you know, I need you. I need you badly. I need the help. Kamala and I desperately need your help. Because, look, there's only about 6 or 7 states that are going to determine the outcome of this election. There are toss-up states. This is one of them. This election is not a referendum on me. It's an election between me and a guy named Trump. And this is a guy whose the way he talks about the Latino community is, well, in 2016, he called Latinos criminal, drug dealers, and rapists when he came down that escalator. Now he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. What the hell is he talking about? No, I'm serious. Think about it. We are, in fact, the reason we're as good as we are is because we are the most diverse country in the world. More people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is...
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. First African-American. So my point is... First African-American. So my point... First African-American. So my point...
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Oh, man. Oh, man. Her hyena laugh is a beast. Oh, man. And there's another question that I have. I posed this, and it's funny, too. You always can tell when something hits a sore spot when people don't respond. Because, you know, the usual suspects will usually chime in and have something to say. But, you know, here's a question I posed. Who remembers why Tavis Smiley was canceled? And what is the difference in this Fani Willis situation? Because remember, they were talking about, you know, anytime you're in power and you have sex with a subordinate, it's not like just regular having a consensual relationship because you could be using that power and blah, blah, blah. Ain't that why they got Tavis up out the paint? I'm just saying, shouldn't this be treated the same way? This woman was a whole boss, right? This woman's a whole DA. She the big boss. She hire or fire. And arrange salaries. I mean, I'm just saying, shouldn't she be getting treated the same way with the same smoke? Like, you know, maybe getting her up out the paint too? I don't know. Anyway, some people might feel that I'm wrong. They might disagree. They might want to be like, hey, when you see people like this, they mean us good. And y'all just don't like nobody. And, well, sometimes you just got to deal with the lesser of two evils. And then you get somebody next to you that looks like you and says, hey, I'm going to go along with status quo. This guy. And I'll be more than happy sharing your shoes, sir. And then I'll go and tote the water and tell you that this woman is a black woman, and don't you tell me different because this woman's black. But no, she is not. That's why a lot of us, and they are already talking about the growing sentiment out there, staying home because there's no tangibles. So there might not be a vote. And if there's no black agenda, there's definitely no vote. Because we understand Ukraine is not our responsibility. But you might still be a Biden sexual and say, you know what? In spite of all of this, and even your broadcast and the video you show with Joe Biden's history, that still isn't enough for me to allow myself not to vote for the Democrats because my ancestors fought, bled, and died so they can be Democrats. I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official. The Beatzilla PDX official show. Pretty sure I speak for you in the chat. Grassroots. Voices of New Black Media. Think I am good with saying it's safe to say I speak for all of us. When we dedicate this song to all you brain dead Biden sexual boot-licking Sambos.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Family, you can follow me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket to support this broadcast, you can definitely do so by way of Cash App. That is $beatzillapdx. That's Cash App, $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, crew, Ray Alati, Grand Negus in the house. I see you. Thank you for being here, Black First, brother. And RBJ, Black First from South Carolina. Shout out to all of y'all. And as you already know, all I have to say is power tools. And with that being said, we got 400 in the house. Yes, indeed. If it doesn't start out right, it's not going to end right. Facts. And, family, I'm not sure if there's going to be anything, a broadcast on Friday, because this is me and the wife's anniversary weekend. So, might not be a broadcast Friday. Chances are. Strong chance. So, with that being said, y'all have a blessed week. Blessed weekend if we do not speak again. And, like I say, y'all keep y'all 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby. And until we meet again, family. How did I start this? I actually did the regular intro. I did the one. I'm gonna give y'all the week outro because I don't think I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be a broadcast Friday. So we're gonna go ahead and just hit y'all off with the weekend outro. Is that all right, ladies and gentlemen? With that being said, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Thank y'all for the congratulations. I appreciate it. And may y'all, for all of my married folks out there, may y'all have a good one on your next go around as well. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.